Can you dig it, sucker?
Live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. Join the 6-time World Heavyweight Champion, 2-time WWE Hall of Famer, and WWE NXT announcer, Booker T. Booker T. Alongside his right-hand man, the Boat, Brad Gilmore. It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Boom! Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. Hey guys, we ready to do this thing like we always do, man. About to take you on a ride. I want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame as well today. Getting your champagne wishes and caviar dreams, man. We got a big week coming up before we even get there. How you doing, dog? How you feel?
I'm doing good, Book. I'm doing great. You know, I had a nice, relaxing weekend. I've picked up the game, Booker. I've picked up the game. You know what I mean? I've picked up the game of pickleball.
Oh, my God. You know what? I'm not mad at you. It's exercise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're getting your cardio up, you know what I mean? Playing the game, you know, you're active. Yeah, I like that.
Have you ever seen people play pickleball? Do you know about the sport?
Yeah.
So
I watched this on television.
it's on TV now, and that's where I first saw it, and I thought, this looks like the most ridiculous game ever. It just feels like if you can't play tennis, you play pickleball. But I figured...
Which is true.
But I figured out there's a whole different level to it. There's all kinds of rules that are different than tennis. And then there's a middle part called the kitchen, which took me a long time to get even my mind around. What is the kitchen for? What do we do with the kitchen? No one really explains it well. But I will say, yes, it is one hell of a workout when you're running court to court, diving for the pickleball.
I'll tell you right now, I ain't running nowhere to nowhere, okay? Because, I'm serious. Because I played basketball with my son like 3 days ago, and I still can't get right. My body is all messed up. I mean, he's just running circles around me now. You know what I mean? I thought it was going to be at least a couple more years before he beat me, but he just beat the hell out of me and did it with ease. Chompers, you know, if I try to crowd him a little bit, he just run around me. And so I say, okay, every time I take it out now, I'm just going to back him down, you know, and just drop it in. You know, so I just start muscling. So I say, I'm going to make myself do this. So I'm jumping, and, you know, I'm literally putting the elbow and the shoulder into him. You know what I mean? I scored a few points, but it was at a cost. I'm serious.
It was at a cost. You took that risk. You say, you know, it's worth it. It's worth it.
No, he wanted to play with the old man, so I said, I'm going to go out there and beat myself up a little bit, you know, because I beat myself up a whole hell of a lot more than he did.
So as far as playing with your son, is Kendrick at the point where he's better than Pops? Because he's got some height on him. He's got some length to him.
He's better than me, and in these last 6 months, he's just picked the game up. He's actually beginning to feel it. And he's, you know, crossing over through the legs, behind the back, you know, and just took me to school. And, you know, and he said that too, you know, Dad, I just schooled you. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I ain't want to say he did, you know. I said I schooled him.
But in your mind, you're like, damn, he did, though.
Oh, but he schooled me, man. My knees, everything. I'm like, man, I got to go get some more PRP treatment. Because he just used it all up. He just used the rest of it. I ain't got no more left in the knee. My left one feel pretty good, but my right one, man, I got a knee brace on right now, man. I'm like, man, I'm still in pain from that little exhibition.
We need you to be well, though, Book. We need you to be well because this Saturday is the debut of the grand opening of the brand new Reality of Wrestling Enterprise, the facility, the arena is all ready to go. September 23rd, 7 o'clock bell time. Doors open 6. How you feeling, Book, on the precipice of yet another grand opening?
I'm feeling, I feel real good. Let me say that first. I feel really good about being able to debut the new arena. It's something that we've been waiting on for quite some time. I want to thank Jerome Karam for making this happen for us. A guy down there at the Mall of the Mainland, he always makes sure he take care of Booker T and everything that we got going on with Reality Wrestling, one of our main sponsors as well. So I want to thank Jerome Karam for making sure we got this building up and ready to go. So first and foremost there. But I'm excited. But I've been down there this whole week, even throughout the weekend, the whole weekend I've been down in the building. And it feels like when I first opened my first arena downtown here in Houston. And I remember the night before, my wife and I and her mom, we were in there cleaning, wiping stuff down and trying to get ready for that debut that following Saturday, I think it was, we had the debut on. And here we go, we're having another debut on another Saturday. And I was in there over the weekend, and I was wiping down all of the workout equipment. I went and bought a brand new dust vac, and I dust vac everything in the back, got my table, my desk actually all cleaned down. I got my war room desk all cleaned down. I got the chairs, ready for the war room. Got the burgundy carpet on the floor, and got some guys. Man, hey, don't hate on the day laborers, man, because I went and got me some day laborers, man. They came down there and they helped me out with, painting this wall. So got some day laborers out there that need some work, man. Y'all make sure y'all hook them up. And these guys did a hell of a job painting this wall for me. Now I got to lay the carpet in that one area as well. But I went and bought equipment. Actually mats to put down under all of the workout equipment as well. And I did all of that myself. And I did that because when you have a purpose, when you do something like that, you feel like you've done it yourself. You take a whole lot more pride in it. And that's the only reason. That's the only reason. I've been down there working my ass off at our new building. Even today, I went and bought more flooring. I didn't get a chance to put it in, but on Wednesday, I'll be back down there making sure Saturday night, when the fans walk in the door, they're going to be treated with something so special, and it's going to be so near and dear to my heart. So I just want to thank my man, Kevin Bernhardt, and his mom and his dad for working, and making sure from the tech side, everything is right. The television monitors, the LED screens. We working hard at Reality Wrestling to create something special, an enterprise. This thing started very, very small, but over this last almost 19 years, it has expanded into a monster baby. I'm talking about a monster baby. It comes Saturday night, 7 o'clock bell time. It's going to be off the chain main event, the next chapter. Two guys that started it, this rivalry in the UK. Charlie Dempsey as well as Axiom will be in the main event, giving you guys a showcase at Reality of Wrestling that can't be seen anywhere else but Reality of Wrestling, as well as that co-main event, Gigi Ray taking on Promise Braxton, the Rebel Buddhist. Oh, yes. It's going to be on, man. I can't wait. No matter how I'm feeling right now, come Saturday night, it's going to be a night to remember.
Yeah, there's always those pre-show jitters that happen the week of, especially when you're opening a facility like this. And as you always say, you hope all the butterflies in the stomach just line up and fly straight. And on Saturday night, I'm looking forward to sitting there ringside, best seat in the house, to use your terms, to see this this NXT showcase match at the new Road Arena.
We got you a brand new desk, Brad.
Oh, I've seen,
nice and shiny. We got the nice big Roll logo right on the top of it. And I'm going to tell you right now, none of the boys, they better not come near that table. Break that table, they fired. Firing anybody that think they can jump on the table. We're going to have the Spanish table right next to it. You can jump on that one.
It was always messed up. The Spanish commentators always got it first. Always. They always got it first.
So we'll have something for you to jump on. Just make sure you don't touch that damn table that we've been working on. We got to take a break, guys. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. That was perfect, man. My theme music and everything. You know
Look at that. It's like we have a synergy about us, book. It's like we've been doing this.
Wow, it's great.
Hey, look. Oh, go ahead. Okay.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, it was obviously a great weekend for college football. Not as great of a weekend of pro football, but we're not here to talk about football. We're here to talk about professional wrestling, sports and entertainment, the UFC. I would be remiss, though, if we didn't bring up that you and I next week will be live in Las Vegas, Nevada, for that Jamel Charlo and Canelo Alvarez fight going down next Saturday night at T-Mobile Arena, and we will be broadcasting live outside in that beautiful tent that they have for the media setup, the little media center outside of T-Mobile on Thursday, Friday out there, and we'll be tooling around Vegas, book, and we also will have another announcement, I think, coming out this week for our fans in Las Vegas of another spot they might be able to find us at while we're out there.
Yes. Oh, yes. You know what? Also, this weekend, I didn't even realize the UFC Shevchenko Grasso fight went down.
Yeah.
Grasso retained in a draw, 5-round decision. I mean, not 5-round draw with Shevchenko. I got a chance to go back and watch some of the highlights, and man, what a war, man! What a war those two went out there and fought tooth and nail for that championship. And the thing is, Valentina Shevchenko, she's just been that comet, pretty much just light years away from everybody else in the division. Then to see someone like Grasso step in there and not just beat her the first time the way she did by submission. I mean, that like Joe Rogan said, she was like a ninja when she jumped on her. I mean, it was quick, and to see her to match medal for 5 rounds with Shevchenko, that's impressive, very impressive.
Now, the draw was a controversial call from some people. I could see how the judges, would have scored this one a draw. And really, all that means is they got to do it again.
Yes, it's a trilogy. It's a war, man. If I was, either one of those ladies, I would want to take a fight in between before I went back and did it again.
Why is that?
Just to not know I'm going to be going back. Just think about it. Being in the trenches in that war. And you know exactly what that war is. It's hard. Can you imagine those soldiers being over there in Iraq? You know what I mean? And then, this war here, how hard it is, but then you go over, to, another, smaller country, and just boom, you just run right through it. You know what I mean? That's what I mean, just from an analogy standpoint.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I totally get what you're saying in that. It's just having that reset period, that moment to kind of have a break. And maybe
throw me a bone, man. Throw me a bone. Give me somebody. Give me a job guy. For a change. Give me somebody I can get over on. One of those type of nights. You feel me?
Yeah. I mean, there's always like my analogy for it is the Adam Sandler version of the Longest Yard, where he says, the guards, they just need a tune-up game. They just need a tune-up game. Go out there and beat the ever-loving crap out of some team, get their confidence up, and get ready for the regular season. And I think that I see what you're saying there. And to me, though, man, Shevchenko, Alex Grasso, obviously great. She's a world champion. But that's Shevchenko. She's something special, man.
I mean, just watching her, she could have easily won that fight. Just watching her hip action, the back kicks, the spinning kicks, everything is just so fluid. Everything just flows. And she's tough as nails. So my thing is, I'm gonna love seeing it again when it does happen. But if I was either one of those ladies, I would want to take a break in between just to again reset.
Yeah, 100%, man. I feel like, though, we should maybe dive into some of the professional wrestling talk that this show is known for. And, Book, I don't know if you got a chance to watch some of SmackDown on Saturday, but here's the thing. For people who might be out, in a wrestling bubble or in a sports entertainment bubble, not know what's going on in the Hollywood landscape, the writers and the actors are going through the strike. The Writers Guild has a strike. SAG-AFTRA has a strike, which, sucks because of your favorite TV shows and whatever, they're not on or they're not being worked on. The movies are all on delay. But where that does benefit the wrestling fan is some of the people who have been known in the WWE world have, come back because of this strike. They got some free time in their schedule, one of them being John Cena, who's been back now is going to be here, I think, for another 6 to 7 weeks with WWE on a regular schedule, which is only great. He had a run in there with Grayson Waller on Friday, and Grayson Waller is somebody who you got to see in NXT come up, and then almost a few months after you got there, he got called up to the main roster and has really been doing his thing over there on SmackDown. Have you seen everything John Cena and Grayson Waller have been able to do with one another, and what do you think about it?
I'm loving it. One thing about being in that kind of situation with Grayson Waller, I said he was one of the guys that I thought was mature enough to go to the main roster and make a difference. He's one of the guys I felt like he could fit right in perfectly with what was going on the main roster. And then if you have someone like John Cena giving you the rub, that one guy that's, pulling for you to, come up and, take that spot. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful place to be in, and watching everything that went on Friday night, just from the interactions, backstage perspectives, as well as, stuff like that. I just think it's good for the business all around, as well as we see one thing about these guys that's coming back, and it was always a problem, on the internet. When you see a guy like The Rock come by, a guy like John Cena come back, and then have a match with, one of the young guys, he's taking somebody's spot. Now we see the star power, how big the star power really is of having a John Cena around, the star power of having The Rock, not just having The Rock around cutting promos. That right there is worth its weight in gold to let these young guys see what it really means to go out there and have fun while you're doing this.
Yeah, and to me, explain that a little bit more. What you just said, having fun while you're doing this.
Well, I don't want to get too deep off into it.
Okay.
Because they got to go to Reality of Wrestling if they want to find that out. They got to pay the tuition and all of that, if they want to get insider information. But if you watch The Rock, when he goes out and do his work, he brings the fans along with him. He makes the fans feel like we are at a party here. We're having some fun. You guys going to walk away from this and you're going to have a memory for a lifetime, opposed to just going out there and thinking it's about you and I. It's not. It's never about you and I. It's always about the fans and how they feel about watching this stuff that we're doing. And if you can get them, aroused in a certain way, they'll love you for the rest of their lives. They'll remember those moments for the rest of their lives. But if you're just going out there and cutting a promo, want to get too deep into it. But, things could, can be a little different. Let's just say that.
Right. And when you get, again, you don't want to give up too much game, and I definitely understand why. But I think that what John's doing by having those promo battles or those segments with somebody like a Grayson Waller, it's the iron sharpens iron thing, right? Because Grayson Waller is a great talker, or as he is right now. He's very good, very natural, very charismatic, knows how to get the heat of the crowd, does it very well. And then when you're out there with one of the best mic guys, probably in the history of the business, as far as knowing how to get the crowd either for him or against him or to feel a certain kind of way, you're only going to learn more being out there with somebody that's better than you. And I think that Grayson Waller would have no objection to knowing that John Cena is at a higher level when it comes to the promo game, and being out there with him is only going to make him better. It's the same like a wrestling match. I mean, I know we always use the example of you talking about when you work Ricky Steamboat, but even when you're in a wrestling match or whether you're in a promo segment situation, when you're working with somebody better, you're only going to go up and make that try to reach up to their level is what I'm trying to say.
Well, you put in a situation though, it's one of those things where you sink or swim also, okay? You don't want to be the guy that put in the program with John Cena and then go out there and stink it up. You get in the program with John Cena, you're going to say, man, I got to step my game up. Man, I got to be ready. You in the back, you pacing back and forth. You're like there again, your palms are sweaty. Butterflies are all over the place. And then when you walk out the curtain, you feel like Superman. That's the way, no, I'm serious. That's the way Grayson Waller is, that's it. No pun intended. But that's the Grayson Waller effect that he's giving off. That just came out like that. But that's what's happening right now. And if Grayson Waller is able to keep up with John Cena, that's all he has to do. He just has to keep up with John Cena. He doesn't have to pass John Cena. He doesn't have to be better than John Cena. He just has to be able to keep up with John Cena. And this kid, his career will be made. That's all he has to do. And that's just me coming from a Hall of Fame.
Well, hey, Book, we got to take a break, but I want to pick back up with another segment that we saw on SmackDown when we get back.
Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Boom. Welcome back inside. Wait. Shoop. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. I had to just get that. T-shirts going, guys. T-shirts going like hotcakes. So make sure you get your one. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com and hook yourself up. Make yourself feel good about your show. I'm just saying.
It's all about the shook, and it's all about the people. And by the way, we're going to get to all the people's super chats. I see y'all sending them in. We have a lot of people watching us live. Make sure you hit those thumbs up on the video if you're watching us on YouTube. Shout us out on Twitter or X if you're listening to us on the ESPN 975.
X, baby. X. You got to say it right, man. X. On X. You got to say it like that.
And, Book, we're going to get to all these super chats again. Everyone, shout out where you're watching or listening to us right now in the chat. I want to see it live because it's all about the people. And you know what? Finally, the People's Champ came back to SmackDown in Denver, Colorado. He was there. The People's Champ, The Rock, made his way back to the WWE. First time we've seen him in almost, I think, 4 years on WWE television. It doesn't feel like that long. But again, with SAG being on strike, with the XFL off season right now, he's got a little free time in his schedule, and he decided to come down and see the people live and cutting off Austin Theory and that little promo battle with Pat McAfee. Did you see it?
No, wait a minute. Austin Theory cut him off. That was beautiful.
Oh, yes.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your name. Oh, it was beautiful, man. I love Austin Theory also jumping on The Rock and just whooping his ass
for 4 punches. Rock was selling it too.
He was selling the crap out of him.
Rock got low for him. Was able to.
He was selling like Elvis. I mean, everything was going all on.
Rock selling his ass off, man.
Oh my God, it was beautiful, man. What a good segment. What a good segment for Austin Theory. Be in that position, kids coming up. One thing about Austin Theory is I've said it, once. You might have heard me say it before about him, but he's that guy that plays his role. Mm-hmm. He's not a guy that's getting ahead of himself. He's not a guy that's, reading his own press clippings or believing in the hype of what people are saying on the internet. This kid has got his head on his shoulders, and he is truly the next generation of superstars in WWE. And I just want to give him his props for being that kid and having his head on his shoulders the way he does.
Well, and, I think I just had talked about it the other day about, hey, man, like Austin Theory, I haven't seen as much of him as I wanted to lately, and da-da-da-da.
Yeah,
I was just talking about that. And when I look back now at the year Austin Theory's had, right, let's just think about some of the highlights. The highlights of his year, if you go, even if you want to start from WrestleMania 38, he's got all this camera time with who? Vince, right? On the show every week with Vince. It's going to raise your stock. He has a match with Pat McAfee at WrestleMania 38. It'll raise your stock. And then his next WrestleMania match was against John Cena. Well, it's going to raise your stock. Then he has a United States Championship feud with one of the greatest of all time in Rey Mysterio. It's going to raise your stock. And then the first time The Rock comes back in 4 years, you don't think he had a say in who he was going to be in the ring with that night? You don't think The Rock was like, when they're like, hey, Rock, this is what we want you to do. If he had any objection to it, I'm sure they would have listened to that. But, hey, boom, we got Austin Theory in the ring. And then what did he say to The Rock? It's about time you're back with a real Austin in the ring, Not like your buddy Stone Cold or whatever he said. And whenever he hit him with that, it doesn't matter what you have to say.
Yeah.
But I will say this: Rock got him back good when he had the whole crowd chanting, "You are an a-hole" for about.
Oh no, but that's, bro, like that stuff that happens at a house show,
right?
Where you have the fans just totally awestruck because they're having so much fun. They can't realize that they're just having so much fun, but that's the stuff that Rock has always been able to do. He has always had that ability to be able to go out there and make those fans feel like they are a part of everything that's going on. So for those young guys that's in that locker room, if they can't learn from something like that, if that's not on-the-job training for them, and they wish they had a lot more of it around on a regular basis, something is definitely wrong with this business. That's what I'm saying.
So you're saying that everybody it should have been a curtain sellout when The Rock was out there because you could learn from watching the People's Champ.
Well, I mean, just hearing the crowd, the way they're supposed to cheer for you when you walk out the curtain. Just that alone, that pop. I tell people all the time, when I came back for the Rumble in 12 and I walked out the curtain, the crowd was so loud, I thought The Rock was behind me.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, the People's Champ.
So it's a lesson to be learned there, man. Right. When the fans cheer for you a certain way, it lets you know how big of a star you really is.
Yeah. And here's the other thing that's great about The Rock is when he huge pop, by the way, when he came out, huge pop. I mean, massive. But what I've always loved about him is you have these, thousands of people cheering live, and I've always felt like he knew how to milk it, right? When he just would stand there and just look out at them, not move, just look and strike the pose and look out at the people. Yeah. And it almost felt like it made him get louder when he would just stand there. I think that you talked about this, and I don't want to give away any of the secrets too much, but there's a moment where you say you were in a match with somebody and you said just lay here, let the people come up for you, and then the people, without you doing anything,
laying there is one thing, but laying there and being able to like touch the guy you're working with and go, oh, we got him, just stay right there. Don't move. Yeah. Those are the moments. Those are the moments that you work for and you really, really remember more so than anything. And
I know we had a super chat about this particular segment, so we might as well get it out of here.
Super chat.
This is from our man Cali Toenail. Chew it and do it. How can Fox improve its audio bleeping out? The Rock was out there doing a great job and the people getting involved, and they cut it all out like Charlie Chaplin out there. They didn't pay to miss these parts. Yeah, so, I mean, you can't say that on television, a-hole, and they are over the air, just like this show that you're listening to. Although we're on the internet, we're also over the air, and we're subject to FCC rules, just like an over-the-air station would be like Fox is. So they just that's called CYA. You don't want to get fined.
I mean, you got a lot of kids watching the show as well.
That too.
And to be able to have a little bit of respect for, the parents out there that's letting their kids watching the show. I think it's very, very important. I think that's the difference between WWE and, a lot of companies out there. As far as the cursing goes, I just don't, I don't mind it here and there. I don't mind certain words being said on occasion, just because of it spices things up. But when you see it on a regular basis, it does kind of water things down a little bit. But yeah, I think WWE TV, kids are watching the show.
Yeah. And the thing is, again, the people out there, 20,000 strong, 15,000 strong, however many were there.
They knew they knew.
Oh, yeah.
They knew what was being said.
They knew what was being said. And again, for that many people to be reacting not only to The Rock, but to Austin Theory, that's a night he's going to remember, man. That's a night that he's going to remember.
Just think about it also, watching that and just being at home and wanting to be a part of that crowd. It makes you want to be in the arena next time as well. People always talk about, the Spinaroonie, trying to get The Undertaker to do the Spinaroonie. But those fans that night in that arena, oh man, they got the biggest treat of their lives. They remember it for the rest of their lives, as well as they were the only ones that got it. The television didn't get that, so those are those special moments. So make sure you show up at the arena. That's the, the linchpin behind that.
But again, when I would watch, back in the Attitude Era, and during the Monday Night War era, like when the crowd was unbelievable every week. I mean, just unbelievable. I mean, they were, as soon as Vince walked out, as soon as he walked through the curtain, they're chanting "a-hole" at him. Right? Yeah. When Austin would say, "Give me a," he couldn't even get out the "hell yeah" before the crowd just "hell yeah," And it was before really the "This is awesome" chants. It was mainly the names, as you pointed out before, the Booker T, and you would look out and you'd see the sea of signs. And I remember going to my first house show, even though I knew this wasn't going to be on television. I just wanted to bring a sign and hold it up once. To feel like what that was going to feel like. So it was an awesome moment. And on Monday night, on Friday Night SmackDown, before we go to break, just for the people, for all the people watching, we said The Rock was selling like Elvis. Can we send him to break selling like The Rock?
Let's see it.
Go for it. I'm talking about you.
What are you talking about? Stick around, guys. You and the Hall of Fame will be back in a minute. Can you dig it, sucker? And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
Let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com and use promo code and receive your first month absolutely free, man. Visit BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Can you dig it, sucker? All right, everyone, it's Booker T and Brad Gilmore here, and we've got something exciting for all you sports, comedy, music, and theater fans out there. We're talking about Game Time, the fastest, easiest way to get your hands on tickets to your favorite events.
That's right, Book. We love all those spontaneous, unforgettable moments, and Game Time is here to make them happen. Whether it's a last-minute decision to see a game or a sudden urge to catch a live show, Game Time has got you covered, giving fans access to tickets even at the last minute in over 60 cities across the United States and Canada.
And guys, this ain't about getting in. This is about getting the best seats in the house. With Game Time, you can see images of your seat before you buy it. So no surprises there, guys. You can score tickets swiftly. Skip the line, guys. Just dive straight into the moment.
Absolutely. And listen to this. Game Time guarantees the best prices. Find tickets in the same section and row for less elsewhere. Game Time will give you a credit of 110% of the difference. So there's no reason to wait, Book.
So whether it's the thrill of the game, the laughter of the comedy, the rhythm of the music, or the drama of the theater, guys, don't let the opportunity skip by. Choose Game Time. Grab your tickets and just enjoy the moment.
Live should be spontaneous, Book. So guys, don't miss out. Check out Game Time now on their app or at gametime.co. That's gametime.co.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Just download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code Booker for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Lowest price guaranteed. Oh, yes. Can you dig it, sucker?
Hey, Book, our next sponsor of the Hall of Fame podcast is AG1, the daily foundational nutritional supplement that supports whole body health. I drink it literally every day, and I know you're drinking it too.
Yeah, man, I received the box in the mail, and I said, what is this? And it said AG1. And let me give you a little testimony. I'm a coffee drinker. I've been a coffee drinker every morning for about 25 years. And I drink a big cup of coffee on the way to the airport, and I get on my flight, and I still go to sleep. So I realized coffee is not helping me at all. So I say, let me try the AG1. I stopped drinking coffee literally 2 weeks ago. And I drink the AG1 in the morning, first thing. And the first thing I want to do is get in the gym and train. The body transformation has been unbelievable. The energy I have going into my daily routine has been off the chain. So I'm a believer. I'm a believer in AG1.
And Book, for me, I was sick of taking multivitamins every day, and I wanted something that was an all-in-one. And with AG1, it's just a scoop in my water every morning. I mix it up, and it's a foundational nutritional supplement that delivers comprehensive nutrients to the whole body. And for me, the benefits of AG1, I can tell you I have more energy, I have better digestion, better gut health, I have more support for mental clarity and focus. I'm locked in for the whole day since I've been drinking AG1.
And they say LeBron James spent $1.5 million a year on his body. You don't have to do that, guys. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Guys, go to drinkag1.com/Booker. That's drinkag1.com/Booker. Check it out. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. Brad, with everything going on in the news, where do you want to start?
Yeah, I think that we should start with some of the WWE releases that happened today. This is always a sad day for, people in the business and people who support the business, fans of the business, to see some of their favorite names or some of the names that they enjoyed watching perform over the years have to leave WWE. Doesn't mean they're done wrestling, but there's been some notable ones. And I think that we should start with a couple of the big names that were released today. First off, in my opinion, and I know they probably don't like being characterized as this, but two of the most underutilized I think, talents in pro wrestling history, in my opinion, were released today, and that's Shelton Benjamin and Dolph Ziggler. Both real brand names. Shelton Benjamin, been with the company on and off since, I think, 2003, maybe? Dolph Ziggler around the same time. Dolph's obviously won world title. Shelton, IC champ, had great careers for themselves. They were given their release today. I think we start their book. What do you think about Shelton Benjamin and Dolph Ziggler?
Yeah, we just celebrated Shelton Benjamin's 20th anniversary. What, a couple of months ago, maybe 3-4 months ago?
Right.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. And there's one thing about it. Shelton got 20 years out of the business. You know, a lot of guys don't, get that or afforded that opportunity. So Shelton got 20 years out of it. And I think just because he may be released as a talent doesn't mean that he can't find his way back as a producer, trainer, coach, whatnot. So I think Shelton has a whole lot of options. I think one thing about Shelton, he was definitely highly valued in the company. He was very highly respected also for what he accomplished, not just in the WWE, what he did in college before he got there, because he was one of those Minnesota boys that came in highly touted, real wrestler that could, tie you up like a pretzel along with Brock Lesnar. So I think Shelton's going to be okay. That's just my opinion on that. But so Shelton may one door may close, but I think another one is going to open up relatively quick for him.
Yeah, I mean, and Shelton, I don't know how old Shelton is. He doesn't look his age, whatever he is, but he's been in the business, like you said, for 20 plus years. Still has something he can do. If he's not there in WWE, I mean, if I'm AEW, I'm looking at a lot of these guys, but I'm looking at Shelton Benjamin, somebody who's a locker room leader, who can get in there with the veteran experience and the mindset to help a lot of these young guys out. That'd be a nice pickup.
It'll be a nice pickup, as well as he always can go back to Japan and do that gig over there 3 months out of the year and come home, go back, 3 months, that type of deal. So I think Shelton options is open, just because he's kept himself in shape. Shelton's not one of those guys you've ever heard in the press, in the news, as far as some kind of scandal going on or anything like that. Shelton's always been squeaky clean, man. So yeah, like I say, I think one door may close for Shelton, but I think another door is going to open up for him. Boom, just like that.
Well, what do you think of Dolph? I mean, Dolph Ziggler, this is a guy who's been around for a long time. He was part of the Spirit Squad back in the day. He was Chavo Guerrero's caddy, and then he transitioned into Dolph Ziggler, world champion, show stealer. Had a nice run with Braun Breaker and NXT. Was kind of the last story I remember him really being involved with. Tag champ, done a lot of stuff in the business. Hadn't seen him recently in a long time. But what do you think of Dolph?
I mean, Dolph seemed like he's been on cruise control for like the last 10 years.
Yeah.
It seemed like he got to a point where he just said, I'm just going to pretty much ride the thing as long as I can. I don't think, Dolph is one of those guys that really never changed, his look. He always was the same guy all the time. And for me, I always have that saying I always had. If you don't change with the times will pass you by. You got to know how to really be able to keep up with what's going on, out there in the music world, the entertainment world and whatnot. And I think Dolph Ziggler just stayed that one character throughout, his whole time. Now, was he a guy that could go out and perform at a very, very high level in the middle of that square circle? Oh, yes. Dolph was a guy that could go out and work with anybody. But then Dolph became that guy that if you needed to get somebody over, you would call Dolph, because and I say that because sometimes you could literally find yourself putting yourself in that position when you do not know how to change with the times. Okay, so but there again, I think Dolph Ziggler is a guy that'll be okay too. I think Dolph, he's smart. He's a smart dude. He's a college educated dude as well. He's not just a wrestler. So I see Dolph being okay in life. Period. Yeah,
and and again, I don't want to keep ringing the AEW bell, but I said he'd be a good pickup for them too. I mean, I know his brother's over there already, but he also seems like a guy, like you mentioned with Shelton, I wouldn't be surprised if he found his way back in some capacity. It may not even be in ring, but it could be from some perspective as a coach or trainer or producer.
No, no doubt.
And
No doubt.
and
I
you
feel
know,
that too.
one of the things that people have always said about Dolph, and you've said it too, you're like, he can go in the Hall of Fame just on bumping alone. You're right. I mean, one of the great sellers in the business.
Best bump in the business. Best bump of all time.
Well, which is saying something, right? I mean, to have that ability to make other people look good and to shine them up.
No,
He did it for Braun.
exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, he's a guy that you could call and, you could trust Dolph Ziggler to go out there and make sure the job was done properly. And one thing about this business, you need guys like that. That's why Dolph stayed around for more than 20 years. You got to be smart to stick around for more than 20 years in this business, as well as people got to like you. People like Dolph Ziggler. He wasn't a guy that, just like Shelton, you're not going to hear Dolph, in the news. He's not going to have any, scam. You haven't heard any scandals along his career. He's been a guy that, like me, put his hard hat on, his boots, come to work, get the job done, go home. But I tried to change with the times at the same time.
Right. Yeah. And Dolph had, like you said, maybe had a similar gimmick for a long time. It was on cruise control as far as maybe the character goes or what have you. But I will say, Dolph, when he cashed in the Money in the Bank, I think it was like after WrestleMania 29, I think, he cashed in on Del Rio. I remember the pop when that was one of the most memorable television moments I can remember watching on WWE television in quite some time. It was one of the more memorable post-WrestleMania moments was Dolph cashing in, having his moment in the sun as the world champion, even if it was for a short time. Yeah. That's something no one can ever take away from him.
Oh, man. Dolph can, rest easy as far as being one of those guys that made it to that next level.
And listen to this.
What you got?
Because Cena tweeted this out whenever Dolph was released, but
okay.
1,554 matches in the WWE is how many Dolph had. 1,554 matches. It's a lot of matches.
A lot of bumping. A lot of bumping, bro.
Ooh,
brother. That's a lot of. I think that's well more than I had.
I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know how many matches you had, but yeah, it's a lot.
That'll be that's a lot of matches, a lot of bumps, man. And for me, then again, I maximize my bumps. Minimized, actually.
There you go. One bump max per match. Right?
These house shows, anyway, the house show, you wasn't getting nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing. Like I forgot everything. I mean, as far as taking bumps go on the house shows. But TV, I would give them a little bit of something. But house shows, it always, I would go to the guy that I was working with. And, we got to agree on one thing tonight, right? One, make 2 bump max. Okay. All right. Okay, go. Boom. That's the way it works. When you're a pro.
Well, one of the other names that was on the list, and we're going to talk about everybody, obviously, who was released today. And again, we hope that they land
Not
on their
everybody.
feet. Well, we hope that they land on their feet.
That was a long list. We ain't talking about all of them.
Well, we'll make mention. We'll make mention of them. But one guy I will say I was a little bit thrown off by, even though he had asked for his release a couple years ago, was Mustafa Ali, who was kind of in the middle of a nice little feud with Dom on NXT. I think he was penciled in for No Mercy coming up. Yeah. I think he was really finding his footing as far as the NXT go on the NXT brand, and as far as Mustafa Ali goes. I mean, this was a guy who was an injury away from competing for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania against Daniel Bryan. He had big hopes and plans they had for him at one time. Were you surprised at all by Ali's release?
I wasn't surprised. Did I see it coming? No, but I'm not surprised by anything that happens. When it comes to guys, getting released. It's just like Mandy Rose. I didn't see that coming. Just was something. When it happens quick, and it's always been that way in this business. As far as guys, being, on that list of guys getting released, and it's always a really, really touch and go time of the year. It's not a fun time of the year at all. So I get it. I totally understand it, but I didn't see Mustafa, name come up or anything. It wasn't like, this guy's, rocking the boat. I didn't see that or anything, but you never know what's going on behind the scenes, as well as with this merger. They're going to be looking to trim a lot of fat. They're going to be looking to, hey, do we really need these guys? So that's why I say I don't, take myself out of that category when it comes to, with guys getting released when it's a merger happening, because it's business. And if you look at this thing as anything other than a business, you can find yourself out in the cold, wondering what the hell happened. That's why, for me, I have several jobs. That's why I'm hustling all the time. I'm like Nipsey Hussle, grinding all my life, sacrifice, hustle paid the price, yes, that's what I'm all about, so I love that record right there, man. All my life, grinding all my life, sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Oh my God, man. You gotta love it.
I think we got to go to a quick break though here.
We got to take a break. We got 20 seconds. But
Okay.
In that 20 seconds, I want to make sure I remind you guys, Reality of Wrestling this weekend is going down Saturday night. Axiom versus Charlie Dempsey. The next chapter, guys. Reality of Wrestling's the next chapter. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out if you're anywhere in the surrounding area. Stick around in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Boom. Welcome back inside. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. Hey, make sure you get you one of these shirts, man. Make sure you get one of these Row Is Now shirts, because Row is about to be on the go. We got a whole lot in store for Reality of Wrestling throughout the remainder of this year. So make sure if you hear anything about Reality of Wrestling, perhaps coming in your area, get your tickets, guys. Come out and support the Road Nation. Become a part of the Road Nation at the same time, as well as get you one of these shirts by going to realityofwrestling.com. Do it now. I do it for you.
Yeah, man. A big show going down Saturday at the new 9300 M&F Lowry Expressway Arena. Booker was in there putting carpet down, getting his elbow grease in. You know what I mean? We appreciate it.
Put new mats under all of the workout equipment. I was in my office making sure we get the war room all ready and prepared to go, because it's going to be a lot of preparation going on Saturday for this show. It's going to be it's like a new beginning. It's going to be like a new beginning. So, guys, if you thinking about coming to the show, if anybody's listened to the show and they, have been, one of the guys that just show up at Reality, don't show up this month if you ain't buy a ticket. There are no comps. There are no comps. So if anybody thinking about getting in the building for free, security gonna bounce your ass right up out of there. And you know what? He ain't gonna just do it. He gonna do it quick. If you understand what I'm saying. So make sure you guys be on your best behavior come Saturday night. 7:00 bell time, 9300 M&F Lowry Expressway.
We were talking about some of the releases that went down today when people are hearing this. And, we definitely wish everybody land on their feet and find a good place to work. You don't want to see any of the members of the roster go down. But one person who speaking of NXT, has been making a name for themselves, and I wanted to get your reaction to an interview that she just gave. This is Lola Vice. You're familiar with Lola Vice, who's
she's just on the show just a couple of days ago.
Yeah, with Roxanne, right? She gave an interview to TMZ, right? And I just want to read a quote, and I just want to get your reaction to it. She says, "I am going to be the best superstar in the history of WWE. I've been trusting the process, and it's very cliche to say, but kind of have to do that here. You kind of have to do that here. And they do a really good job at making sure I'm prepared this past year and a half. I've been a little bit more low-key, not posting as much, kind of training in silence, starting from scratch, and paying my dues." Do you think Lola Vice has the potential to be a massive name in professional wrestling?
Yeah, she just started this in January. Okay? Mm-hmm. She just started in January. and she went out and performed at a very high level with Roxanne on Tuesday night, to the point to where if she would have beat Roxanne, I wouldn't have been surprised. That's how good she's gotten this quickly. So if she believe it, that's the only thing that matters as far as how good she's going to be. Because one thing about this business, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you. And then if you know you're good, that's just fuel to your fire. That just adds more intensity to, what we got going on. So I see Lola Vice as definitely being someone who could pick this up. How far she goes, that chapter just hadn't been written yet, but we're going to find out. But I really think for someone who has just gotten the business, just debuted in January, and is in the ring with Roxanne Perez, because Roxanne, she's got time under her belt. She's got a lot of time under her belt. And the thing is, and what I say in the ring with Roxanne Perez, she didn't look like she was following the whole time. She didn't look like she was just in the ring having a match where she just trying to get her feet wet or anything like that. She seemed like she was in total control of what was going on when it was her time to have it going on. So I see her actually picking this thing up a whole lot quicker than the most.
Do you think that her MMA background helps her more with the athleticism, or do you think it plays a role at all?
I think it has to. It can't hurt,
right?
I don't think it can hurt or anything like that. I think. I don't think she's using her MMA background per se like a Ronda Rousey or anything like that, because she actually looked like a professional wrestler. I didn't know Lola Vice was an MMA practitioner until I heard someone say it, and then I looked it up, and I realized after doing research, she had 5 Bellator fights. She was 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
She was a black belt in jiu-jitsu. She was a jiu-jitsu champion. I didn't know all of that until I went and looked it up, because she looked like the traditional professional wrestler.
Right. Yeah. I mean, to see what her pedigree was in Bellator. I mean, to get a win in MMA in a professional setting is something, right? And we've seen some people never get a win in their career, and try as hard as you might, right? And to me, to be 4-1 in Bellator is saying something about her badassery, for lack of a better term, and to know that she can go in the ring. And I'm sure people won't take too many liberties with somebody with that background.
Yeah. As well as she's a good looking girl, and to be able to make the transition from doing MMA, because MMA, it's inevitable that you're going to get beat up in that sport. You're not going to leave that sport looking the way you came in, so for Lola Vice to be able to realize that, hey, I can make a switch to professional wrestling, because not just because, I look good or anything like that, but I feel like I can do it, and I feel like I can be, one of the best at it. And then for her to prove how good she is at this point, it tells me that, she's serious about it. Her not being on social media, posting about it and talking about it and going out and doing it, that tells me a whole lot about her. So big ups to Lola Vice, man. I was just talking about that hot Cholula Green, man, just this Tuesday night, man. I'm talking about spicy, dog. Spicy.
Yeah, man.
What?
I know. Hey, look. You're not telling no lies. You know what I'm saying? You're not telling no lies.
Bro, tell it like it is, man.
My eyes work, right?
Yeah.
Who else there on the NXT roster should we be looking at that you notice? Because the things that you almost recognize, I don't want to say greatness, but you recognize potential quicker than most because of your teaching background. Is there anybody else we should be looking at from that NXT roster that's on the come up, that might be on level up, that we haven't seen a whole lot of?
Yeah, man. The one guy that's definitely is next level. Can't wait for him to get his flowers and get his props and get up out of there. We're gonna have him actually inside the Hall of Fame, 5 Minutes of Fame, on the podcast tomorrow. So guys, make sure you tune in and listen to it. Ilja Dragunov. Ilja Dragunov is a superstar that's a throwback to the back in the day, before me, the the Buzz Sawyers, of the world that really made you think, man, this guy here is different than everybody else that walks out of that curtain, that walk down that aisle. He's different. There's something about this dude right here. All of those other matches, we just saw those matches, but watch this guy right here go out and do it. You know what I mean? That's what Ilja Dragunov is to me. That wrestler that make that fan feel everything that's going on. And when they walk out of the arena after watching Ilja, they can't wait to come back and watch Ilja again, do it all over again, because they want that adrenaline rush. They want that endorphin one more time that Ilja made them have. So I definitely think that's the one guy. The one guy I really feel like is so talented and so next level, and a guy that's soon to be, making his journey on to what's next.
Yeah, I'm excited to have him in 5 Minutes of Fame, to be able to talk to him. If you haven't heard 5 Minutes of Fame with Tiffany Stratton and Trick Williams, they're available right here on the YouTube channel or on the podcast app. And I know, Book, we got to talk about everything that happened at AEW Grand Slam with some of the injuries that went down, some scary spots for a couple of the guys. And we have a bevy, to use our favorite word, of super chats, but I cannot move on before. This isn't a super chat, but this comment made me laugh, and it would be hard for me not to put it up here on the screen. This is from Amazing Tribe, who I believe is a channel member. Said, Lola Vice is sweet and spicy, like mustard and collard greens with 2 pans of homemade cornbread. It made me chuckle. I couldn't help but not put it up. I couldn't help but not put it up.
I love it, man. I love it too, man. You ain't lying. You ain't lying either, brother. I mean, I'm serious, man. Lola Vice, she got the goods, man. And I tell you, and one thing about the girls at NXT, they bring it. They bring it in every way, shape, and form. And that's what I like about being in NXT, watching the growth of these young ladies, these young men go out there and do their what I call Shakespeare, man, Romeo and Juliet, Phantom of the Opera, right in the middle of that square circle. But one thing about it, no doubt, just like the Carmelo Hayes, just like the Lola Vices of the business, you got to look good doing it, man. You just can't show up and go out and perform. Me and Charmel, we went to a concert about 3 years ago, right? And it was In Vogue. All right. Mm-hmm. And I used to be a huge In Vogue fan. And I couldn't wait to, I couldn't wait to get me some of that, and they walk out on the stage and they look like they was going to Walmart or to the dollar store. All up, they wasn't dressed alike. Hair wasn't done. I'm like, man, let me get up out of here, man. I didn't even want to hear the music after that. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying tomorrow to that story is, you got to look good doing it, man. You just can't do it. You got to look good. You think Liberace would have been Liberace without all the glitz and glamour? Right. Elton John. You know what I mean? No, jeez. You know what I mean? Elvis. I'm serious. Elvis, come on, man. Stick around. Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back to the Hall of Fame. Man, don't ever play that one when we got to come back, okay? Please. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Oh, my God, man. Oh, my God, man.
That's a great moment.
People crazy.
It's a great moment.
You do look alike a little bit. No, man, but back to the AEW. injuries report.
Look, Callie's reminded me when I was in Vegas and I thought I saw Jennifer Lopez. You remember that story? And it was a Jennifer Lopez impersonator. It happens to the best of us.
Oh, man.
It happens to the best of us. We were talking about AEW Grand Slam that went down last night from Arthur Ashe Stadium. This is one of their kind of big shows they've done over the past 3 years since 2021. And there was a couple scary spots. I guess we start with Jon Moxley going into the finish, like you were saying, with Rey Fenix. And, a scary situation, where he was kind of put on his head and looked almost remnant of, Steve Austin, Owen Hart kind of situation in a lot of ways, where you saw the neck and the head spike right into the mat.
Yeah.
He was apparently diagnosed with a concussion, is what they're saying at this point. We don't know if there's any more extent to the damage. Again, he dropped the title to Rey Fenix last night. They're saying that wasn't the plan, but after you see what happened, there wasn't really anything they could do much about that.
Yeah. I'm not surprised at all. I said it, I don't know, a few months back, somebody's going to get hurt over there sooner or later.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that I want anybody to get hurt or anything like that, because injuries are a part of the business, but putting yourself in, harm's way for something like that to happen, I think they do it in AEW a whole lot more than normal. Just the situation, for instance, with Jungle Boy wanting to use real glass,
Mm-hmm.
to cut himself, to potentially, cut whatever, it's a mentality now, with guys actually wanting and needing to feel the pain. I don't get that part of the business today, as far as guys that want to go out there and just fall on a bed of tacks. Me personally, I don't get that. I don't get. I saw also not only Moxley, but Adam Cole and what's the guy? What's the little Spanish kid to do a bunch of the flips? Vikingo. Yeah. He had a significant injury as well that put him out. So the more of this stuff, is more guys try to pull this stuff off, the more injuries are going to happen. It's just part of the game. One thing about the injuries in this business is the injuries are real. Okay. You can't fake that. The injuries, as well as, the injuries hurt. That recovery time is nasty. It's the worst time in one's life, trying to rehab from something. I hated it. So why these guys do that? When I see Darby Allin, do certain things, when I see Sting jumping off the ladder between, through two tables. Yeah, somebody's going to get hurt sooner or later. And it's going to be significant to the point to where somebody is going to have to stop doing it. And I know those guys don't want to stop doing it, because I know they love it. They love it enough to throw caution to the wind and let their bodies get beat up. I think Jon Moxley said before this neck injury that he couldn't even move around before 12 noon.
Oh man, I didn't hear that. Just with is he saying with all the damage that he's had on his body from
arthritis, and everything that's in his body now. He says he has the arthritis of a 70-year-old man. That's what his doctor said. I didn't say it. That's what he said. That's what Jon Moxley said. That was before getting dropped on his head. What do you think he's going to feel like now?
Oh, I mean, it's not going to feel good. I'm sure he's not feeling great today. By any stretch of imagination, yeah.
Exactly my point. So why do it? I don't know. The fans are going to love you whether you do that or not. And then I must say that that it's a time and a place to do stuff like that. But I do know working with a guy like Ray Phoenix, who's about, I don't know, 5'8", 5'9".
I don't know. I can look it up.
Look it up. And John Moxley being a relatively bigger guy, like at 6 foot, 6'2", 6'1" to 6'2". John Moxley not a small guy.
No, well, first of all, I've met Moxley a few times in person. He's a big cat. He's not a small guy at all. And now the build, height, and weight for Ray Phoenix is 5'10", 220. But the old wrestling.
There again, like I say, 5'8",
4 inches, 20 pounds is right.
5'8", 190.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what he is in real life.
Yeah.
He's 5'8", and he's about 190 pounds. And his torso is just not even long enough for that spot to be pulled off properly without John Moxley's head hitting the ground. It was doomed from the beginning. And for me, that's where the business has totally changed because back in the day, just say, for instance, Ray Phoenix wanted to do that move. Somebody like me would go, nah, I don't think we should do that move. Maybe let's go talk to the agent about that. Because I don't feel comfortable doing that move right there with him. Did I feel comfortable doing it with The Undertaker? Yes, I did, because The Undertaker was 6'9", 6'8". I'm 6'3". My torso is a lot shorter than his, and I was holding on to The Undertaker's body for dear life. I wasn't moving. I already had my neck already scrunched. So I was about this far off the ground when the Undertaker's knees hit. At least 8 inches.
Very minimum.
Bro, so my thing is, put yourself in harm's way. Something can happen. Most of the times it will.
Yeah, but you obviously, no one ever is rooting for it. We never want to see any of the guys go down and get hurt.
Not at all.
And it was definitely a scary thing to see from Moxley. I didn't see it live. I saw the footage later, and it's one of those where you go like, man, come on, that could have really, really, really been bad.
I had to watch it about 5 times just to get the real full impact, and just to at one point, when his head hit, you could see the right by his shoulder, the skin ripple in his shoulder as the impact hit. And I go, oh, that was not good at all. When you see something like that, just because the neck isn't supposed to bend that way.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. It's just like when RVD used to take that DDT. I used to be like, God, man, how the hell do you do that, man? You know what I mean? Seemed like I don't know how he got away with it as long as he did, but it definitely didn't look like it was something that was, conducive to having a good, healthy quality of life, later on in life. Thank God, RVD didn't hurt himself doing that spot, but it was always scary.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things, even with another injury that happened with Adam Cole. Adam Cole's wasn't in-ring related. He jumped off the ramp and landed awkwardly on his leg. Apparently he had to go to the hospital, and they saw him on crutches. We're not sure the full status of his injury. But that isn't – when I bring up the Adam Cole injury, because that can be an amalgamation of high-risk maneuvers over a certain period of time, to where it could be something as simple as you just jumping off a ramp to the floor, and this thing that's been waiting to gives, right? Now, it also could be a freak accident. I don't know. But I'm just saying, with the style and the high work rate that's required required by AEW and expected from AEW fans, could lead to more things like this happening. I don't think that these are isolated incidents. I think they speak to a larger stylistic issue, because the one guy who again, I know we talk about him a lot on the show, but the one guy I never hear getting injured or taking a move wrong is Chris Jericho. I haven't seen Chris do anything outside of his purview in AEW. I see when people wrestle Chris, they wrestle a Chris Jericho match, like Sammy Guevara did at Grand Slam. like Will Ospreay did.
I guess that one match he had with Nick Gage.
The Nick Gage match, sure. Yeah. I'll give you that.
That's about the craziest thing I've seen Chris do in AEW.
But no scary bumps there. Those were more like,
everything was controlled. Everything was controlled in that match. Everything was, you could tell Chris pretty much set everything up the way he wanted to do it and the way he wanted to take it, as far as him feeling comfortable in a situation. But
and Nick Gage, that man knows what he's doing.
Yeah. I give that guy a lot of credit for, creating, what he's created in the business and still being able to walk around and talk about it because he's the king of the death match here in the modern era, I guess. And he's still walking around. So obviously he's doing something right. I wouldn't want to be that guy myself, but obviously he's doing something right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just say that to bring up, perhaps adapting, a different style long-term, and the thing too, though, is this is more also to the lucha style, right? Lucha style is a lot of moves, a lot of risk, a lot of, big kind of high agility, high impact type stuff.
Look here, bro. I'm going to tell you right now. It is, but it isn't. I worked in Mexico. And it's the easiest matches, the easiest money I ever made in my life. Everybody do their spot. You run around the ring a little bit. Everybody do their finish on each other. You go home. That's it. Everybody's finishes. No, I swear I had the easiest time and made the easiest money in Mexico. If anything go wrong, if I get a call, I might be going back. But guys, stick around. The Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Can you dig it, sucker? And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
Let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com and use promo code and receive your first month absolutely free, man. Visit BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Can you dig it, sucker? All right, everyone, it's Booker T and Brad Gilmore here, and we've got something exciting for all you sports, comedy, music, and theater fans out there. We're talking about Game Time, the fastest, easiest way to get your hands on tickets to your favorite events.
That's right, Book. We love all those spontaneous, unforgettable moments, and Game Time is here to make them happen. Whether it's a last-minute decision to see a game or a sudden urge to catch a live show, Game Time has got you covered, giving fans access to tickets even at the last minute in over 60 cities across the United States and Canada.
And guys, this ain't about getting in. This is about getting the best seats in the house. With Game Time, you can see images of your seat before you buy it. So no surprises there, guys. You can score tickets swiftly. Skip the line, guys. Just dive straight into the moment.
Absolutely. And listen to this. Game Time guarantees the best prices. Find tickets in the same section in row for less elsewhere. Game Time will give you a credit of 110% of the difference. So there's no reason to wait, bro.
So whether it's the thrill of the game, the laughter of the comedy, the rhythm of the music, or the drama of the theater, guys, don't let the opportunity skip by. Choose Game Time. Grab your tickets and just enjoy the moment.
Live should be spontaneous, book. So guys, don't miss out. Check out Game Time now on their app or at gametime.co. That's gametime.co.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Just download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code BOOKER for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Lowest price. Guaranteed. Oh, yes. Can you dig it, sucker?
Hey, Book, our next sponsor of the Hall of Fame podcast is AG1, the daily foundational nutritional supplement that supports whole body health. I drink it literally every day, and I know you're drinking it too.
Yeah, man, I received a box in the mail, and I said, what is this? And it said AG1. And let me give you a little testimony. I'm a coffee drinker. I've been a coffee drinker every morning for about 25 years. And I drink a big cup of coffee on the way to the airport, and I get on my flight and I still go to sleep. So I realized coffee is not helping me at all. So I say, let me try the AG1. I stopped drinking coffee literally 2 weeks ago. And I drink the AG1 in the morning, first thing. And the first thing I want to do is get in the gym and train. The body transformation has been unbelievable. The energy I have going into my daily routine has been off the chain. So I'm a believer in AG1.
And you know, Book, for me, I was sick of taking multivitamins every day, and I wanted something that was an all-in-one. And with AG1, it's just a scoop in my water every morning. I mix it up, and it's a foundational nutritional supplement that delivers comprehensive nutrients to the whole body. And for me, the benefits of AG1, I can tell you I have more energy, I have better digestion, better gut health, I have more support for mental clarity and focus. I'm locked in for the whole day since I've been drinking AG1.
And they say LeBron James spent $1.5 million a year on his body. You don't have to do that, guys. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Guys, go to drinkag1.com/Booker. That's drinkag1.com/Booker. Check it out. It's time for the 5 minutes of fame. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We told you we had a very, very special guest this week's 5 minutes of fame. He is none other than the Mad Dragon, Ilja Dragunov. Ilja, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you, gentlemen, for having me.
Hey, man, I just want to sit down with you and talk for a moment just because of, you know, since I sat at the desk at NXT, you one of those guys that, you know, when I watched when I was a kid, he made me feel a certain way when I left the arena. I felt like I could take on the world, you know, when I saw my favorite, you know, guys like a Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer, you know, come down and just rip, you know, his partner to his opponent to shreds. And for you, as a kid, who was that guy that you watched that made you feel that way?
Well, growing up, I didn't watch too much of the business, I must confess, but I remember the first match I ever seen, and this has been Rey Mysterio versus Kurt Angle, actually. So I started pretty good, I can say. And these guys definitely made me feel something because, like, Rey Mysterio on one side is one of a dying breed, even today, a real underdog babyface, someone who really fights from the ground and really captivates like the hope of the people. And on the other side, you have Kurt Angle, who just has an insane intensity that you just can't reach. And I hope for myself that someday I can reach this kind of intensity, and I really hope I will in my way. But those two people, I would say, left the biggest impression on me for my work today.
You know, Ilja, to piggyback off of the legends, there are so many legendary names behind the scenes at NXT. Shawn Michaels, Booker T, Matt Bloom, Terry Taylor, just to name a few. What have you learned being around some of those great minds? And does any one bit of advice stand out to you?
I think it's what I learned the most from my time there is really like make things mean something, especially like the small things, the small moments, the paying attention to the detail. That's what I learned the most, because I think if you reach like true greatness in this business, it's not about it's not about giving as much as possible. If you understand what I mean about quantity, it's about quality. It's about making the most out of nothing. And this is the point I learned the most, because if you can take literally nothing and make a lot more out of that, then you're truly great.
Yeah, that's what I call the Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet, the Phantom of the Opera. That's what I've always loved about the business as well. And I said Ilja Dragunov. I said this a few weeks ago. I said Ilja Dragunov is going to be one of those wrestlers that when fans walk up to him 20 years later at a convention or something, and you're signing that autograph for him, and it's going to be a grown man, and tears is going to come out of his eyes because he's meeting Ilja for the first time. How important it is for you to actually give those fans that ultimate feeling.
It's everything I can give. I mean, like, we all need to rely on our strengths, right? We all have different qualities that we can give to the business. And if there is something I can give, then it is a true emotional connection. That's what I do. That's because it's honest. I mean, like, I feel so much when I'm standing in this ring or whatever I do in my job. I feel so much, and I just wanted those people to participate in my feeling, because we all do something, watch something, live something for the sense of emotion. And without this emotion, room and life is just empty. That's the reason why we are captivated by emotion, because we want to feel something. Whatever it is we do, we want to feel something. And if I can transport my whole passion to the audience and give them this feeling, give them this belief, that's the biggest accomplishment I can have, and this biggest bond I can build to them.
And to go off of that, was there a particular match that you've had in your career thus far where you felt like you had the moment to where the light bulb went off in your head and you learned a lot about yourself as a performer in this particular match?
Absolutely. And this is a match that a lot of people are still talking about. That's me and Gunther. Like, about both times me and Gunther faced off each other in the WWE ring. And it is simply those moments where I shine the most, is when I get beaten up the most, when I suffer the most, when I'm literally getting stomped into the ground. This is like where I reach my full potential, because it's really about either you can take it or you can't. And I portray a persona. I am a persona that is, even if it sounds weird, I live to fight back, right? And to never stop fighting back. And especially in those matches, I can fully embrace it, that you really can't do anything to keep me down.
Man, I tell you, you definitely embrace the embodiment of that throwback wrestler that made me really, really feel a certain way. For me, as a young wrestler, I had my favorites. I had the ones that I dreamt of actually getting in the ring with and going, one-on-one with just once upon a time. Every I think young person that get in this business, they think about having that WrestleMania moment as well. For me, it was Bret Hart. When I finally got a chance to get in the ring with Bret Hart, I almost had to pinch myself. And then I go, I'm in the ring with Bret Hart, and I had to realize I had to perform. Who's that one guy, if you could get in the ring with him and do it at that WrestleMania level, who's that one guy that you want to do it with?
Well, in that case, I got to repeat the same person I talked about before right now. It must be Gunther. It must be him. There's no other chance. This is destiny. I mean, like, there's no other match that makes people feel this whole dimension of emotions that we both can produce, just because we're just the opposites, right? And there's not one person that, again, like, that taught me more in my entire professional career. There's not one person that pushed me more in my entire professional career. And there's no one person I somehow could have a better match with on such a high level as WrestleMania as with him. That is impossible, because we are both like the opposites, but that are kind of bound and needed to be connected to create something that people never seen before, and can reinvent this special thing every time again, especially on a stage like this.
I know that's my last question I got for you, but I just wanted to confess something to you before I let you out of 5 Minutes of Fame. About 6 to 8 months ago, it was a question inside the Hall of Fame, and the question was, who's the person that should beat Gunther? And one of the fans wrote in, it should be Ilja Dragunov. And what did I think about that? And I said, nah, man, no way. It's no way Ilja's going to be able to compete against Gunther. And then after sitting at the desk month after month after month, I had to come back and retract my statement a few months later.
Glad to hear that.
No, I did. So I just wanted you to know, you truly made me a believer, and you are truly destined to be one of the greatest WWE superstars. And I just want to thank you for stepping inside the Hall of Fame and giving us our 5 Minutes of Fame of Ilja Dragunov.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, you. Hey, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. I want to thank you guys for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, getting your champagne wishes and caviar dreams right here on Podcast Heat. And guys, make sure you support all of our sponsors. When I say all of our sponsors, I mean all of our sponsors right here on Podcast Heat. Hall of Fame, now can you dig it? Next time, guys, we out.
The Ed Milet Show showcases the greatest peak performers sharing their journey, knowledge, and thought leadership.
This is one of the all-time best pieces of advice ever given on the show.
Actor Rainn Wilson.
The number one thing that psychologists point to with young people of why they are struggling so much in this mental health epidemic is they don't have resilience. So how do you build resilience if you don't understand suffering itself?
The Ed Milet Show is available on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Hi there. Sorry for the interruption, but are you enjoying this show on Google Podcasts? You should know that the Google Podcasts app is going away this spring. That's right, going away, gone as in no longer available. You can still enjoy this show elsewhere though. Try out Spotify or Amazon Music, or maybe TuneIn is more your style. Whatever app you switch to, be sure to follow so you never miss the next episode. And thanks for listening, wherever you listen.